Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, I'd like to explore teaming as a concept and illustrate a use case where I believe it's 100% okay. I'd also like to discuss cases where teaming is absolutely terrible and should be haram, verboten, and anathema. This is a topic which always seems to come to a head at this point in the season, at this point in the wipe, where many players are trying to push their rank in High Roller, to complete their AP grinds, and to achieve their end-of-season reward goals. Many players will encounter their first real teaming in these lobbies, as the usual hostilities of the game take a back seat to the emergent accidental order where players band together to pursue temporarily aligned interests. Let's get a quick definition for what teaming is. Teaming in Dark and Darker refers to any occurrence of players from separate parties working together or at a minimum not opposing one another. But here's an example I'd like to see more of. You guys take a listen to this.
Hello?
I'm trying to do a quest.
What quest are you trying to do? No, you're good. What are you trying to do?
I'm going to go in hell to get like the red one.
Oh, the Ruby Silver? Alright, we're going to hell too. Do you wanna go around behind us so you don't get smoked?
Would like that. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, dude, we're just running around looking for other teams, so yeah, just keep up with us.
Thanks, mate.
So I think this kind of teaming is likely the most unusual. This is most commonly seen in solo games, but it can happen in other queues, particularly in games where Dark and Darker celebrities might be playing. I'm also being a bit selfish, using this video as an opportunity to show off the fact that I don't run low gear score lobbies to stomp new players. That's a comment I get quite a bit from ill-informed viewers. But as a quick aside, I don't understand how it's somehow considered more virtuous to stomp new players in geared lobbies, opposed to low gear score. In geared lobbies, I'm able to leverage both knowledge and gear advantage to defeat new players, not to mention I profit from it in the process. In low gear scored lobbies, I'm on a level playing field with these new players gear-wise. The only advantage I'm able to leverage is my in-game knowledge. Now, that's still considerable, but I digress. As you've seen so far, the amigos and I are running Crips, and we are looking to go down to level 2 to do bosses, specifically Lich, or Ghost King, as we're still looking for those crowns. Man, this quest can shove it. But we very quickly encounter a new player who is solo and who has queued into the trio's Crips to try and finish a quest to mine ruby silver ore. In most cases, when we encounter new players, we give them two options, peace or violence. Most players choose violence. But here's a tip for new players who aren't looking for fights. Use your VoIP, voice over IP. This is not going to work 100% of the time, but it will work with everyone I run with and a significant chunk of veterans to boot. This means that you will need to enable your VoIP and have a mic. It will also mean you will occasionally run into teenaged edgelords dropping racial slurs on repeat. But it's not really as common as it used to be. Honestly, I think Dark and Darker needs more teaming, like I'm showcasing in this video. It wasn't planned, but we have a group of veteran players looking for fights, who instead take an opportunity to lend a helping hand to a disadvantaged new player. This is precisely the sort of leg up a lot of new players need and aren't asking for. Some of you are no doubt sharpening your pitchforks and readying up for a fight in the comment section of this video. But Koopa, you say, your team is now running across the map fighting other teams with a 4v3 advantage. Well, I hear that argument, but if you watch this footage closely, you'll see exactly what a new solo player can contribute in most team fights. In the best cases, he's taking some splash damage and occupying some enemy attention. Worst case, he's actually damaging our team, the ones who are trying to help him out. But we can certainly disagree about the positives and negatives of this kind of teaming. I would wager that this is the least common type of teaming by far, and one that I think is good for the game and we should see more of. But let's discuss a far more common type of teaming, and one that's closely related to queue sniping of popular streamers and other high-value teams. Now, it may not affect you in your games, But if you've ever been in a lobby with this kind of activity, the game quickly becomes organized around players looking to take that VIP down. This is often born out of queue sniping, but it quickly turns into a teaming scenario where multiple teams or large portions of the lobby are working against a discrete set of players. I don't think this teaming has any place in the game whatsoever. I think you should be able to enjoy the game regardless of your in-game wealth or your fame or notoriety inside the community. Queue sniping is cheating. Teaming with these Q snipers is at best cheating adjacent. Both could theoretically get you banned, but I've never seen that actually happen, and I've never talked to anyone who's actually gotten a ban for this kind of activity. If you disagree and you have first-hand knowledge of this happening, let's hear it out in the comments section of this video below. Now, Iron Mace is apparently working on a solution to this, and that solution is the removal of the pre-game lobby altogether. This will most likely solve the problem. We won't be able to ferret out who we are in lobbies with, and this removes a lot of the incentives, or at least the foreknowledge, to be able to act nefariously or against the design of the game. Now, I've saved the best for last. The likely largest driver of teaming in Dark and Darker is a byproduct of the adventure point system, and players who are grinding adventure points in High Roller. I hate this about the AP system. This is a systemic cause of teaming, and it's likely happening in every High Roller lobby where more than 2 folks are trying to grind adventure points. From my reading of the rules, it's not allowed, and teaming here can get you a suspension. But from where I sit, it's 100% unenforced. I have never met a player who got a warning for this acting neutral or making peace with fellow grinders in High Roller. I'm not completely sure here, but my suspicion is that it's the escalating entrance fee costs for the High Roller adventure point grind being so punishing that it's never worth the risk of dying or fighting other players. As I've said many times, this is simply a single facet in the toxic mess which is the grind to demigod. The wholesale redesign of this system cannot come fast enough. We literally have a system that encourages players to break the rules of the game as laid out on its face. Grinding AP causes teaming. It's the #1 reason for it. Now, I know there's a lot of people who really like the safe feeling of teaming up with other folks to grind out their High Roller experience, but this is adapted behavior, and it's counter-design to what both High Roller and the Adventure Point system should be standing for. Interested in your thoughts below. In the end, we didn't get either of the 2 bosses we were looking for in Inferno. Instead, we got Warlord. It always feels like it's Warlord. So instead, we cleared across the Inferno to find our new friend and help him get out with all the ore he needed in a single run. I love PvP in this game. It's likely the best part of it for me. If you love Dark and Darker, you'll want to see it grow. The biggest impact we can make on that growth is to step in and help soften the pain of the new player experience, at least as much as we can. I'd encourage and challenge all of you to team more like this, the way we're teaming in this video. It will grow the game and strengthen and grow the player base at the same time. All that being said, I'd love to hear about how teaming is affecting you and your games. Please let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this content, please kindly like and consider subscribing. Until next time, Koopa out. Alright, we're both out. I'm looting one last chest, then I'm going. He left a lot of ruby silver hanging here.
I don't think he had room, probably, and he got what he needed, so